What up, guys? It's Markin, and today we're going to be going over my top 5 games of E3 2013. So, number 5 on the list, we have Quantum Break. It is a brand new IP from Remedy Entertainment. They are the same company that brought you the Max Payne series and Alan Wake. Now, you don't really have any gameplay footage here, so it's kind of up to you as to decide what type of game this is. But if you're thinking Max Payne, Alan Wake, you're thinking definitely some type of shooter, in my opinion. Now, this guy here, his name is Jack Joyce. He basically survived a failed science experiment that killed his brother, and when that happened, it broke down time. Now, there's a bunch of anomalies that happen where time stutters and freezes, and he has to basically find out how to control these powers and save the day. So, the story is very vague at this point. Like I said, there's no gameplay footage also, so it's kind of up to you. But the trailer was absolutely great. And they're actually doing a television series based on this as well. And what happens is the television series will be based upon how the community plays the game. So basically how you play the game will impact the show. And when you watch the show, the next episode or whatnot, it'll inform you on what you chose as a community and how that's going to affect the TV show. So I'm not sure how that's all going to pan out, but based on the trailer alone, Quantum Break looks very, very interesting, as you guys saw there. So next on the list at number 4, we have Destiny. Now, Destiny is made by Bungie, the creators of Halo. So right off the bat, that piques everybody's interest. This is their first game that they are releasing after breaking off from Microsoft. It was always Microsoft and Bungie for Halo. Now 343 Studios is doing Halo, and Bungie, this is their first IP that they just announced at E3. Now what they've announced is this is an action, role-playing, first-person shooter. So think Borderlands 2. You'll be getting the same role-playing, first-person shooter, action-oriented game. Now, they've also said to think of it as somewhat World of Warcraft in space. It's open world completely, and they're thinking that it's going to be an MMO RPG. So you'll be getting those World of Warcraft big events where you could be roaming this completely open world with your party. Say you have a party of 3 of your friends. You're all working together to try and complete an objective, and you'll have an enormous, I don't remember the name of it, they basically world events where everybody that's playing the game, in your certain region will be able to see this, say a transport ship drop down, and you will all have to work together to fight it. You'll get massive XP for it. You'll get bonuses for working together. And it's pretty cool. Now, it takes place in a mythic science fiction open world setting. So, it's basically space. When I first saw the trailer, I said, oh, it's Star Warsy. I mean, that's pretty much what it looks like. And what happens is mankind tries to repopulate and, reconstruct this world after the big collapse. And when they try and do that, they discover these hostile alien races that have now come in and taken over all of mankind's former colonies, their former civilizations, and they're basically just packing down on the city. Now, your player in Destiny is the guardian of the city. And the whole entire point of the game is you are tasked with destroying all of these aliens before humanity is completely wiped out. So they've left a lot to the imagination in terms of gameplay story. They did release gameplay footage. It looks great, and that it being Bungie who's making it, that it's going to be really, really fine-tuned. The controls are going to be very, very tight. So I am looking forward to this game. That's why I have it number 4 on my list.
3,
Alright, number 3 on my top games for E3 is Battlefield 4. Now, I could literally give this no description, and you guys would know why I'm excited about it. I'm a big BF3 gamer, love that game, it's one of my favorite shooters out there. And BF4 just looks like it ramps everything up. They are bringing back Commander Mode, which is a pretty big deal. The community really wanted it. And they're bringing it back for BF4. Now what that does is it basically gives you a top-down view of the entire battlefield, and you can command your team. You can talk to squad leaders, you can tell them where enemies are, you can drop Tomahawk missiles. You can really help command the entire battlefield, which is awesome. Obviously there's going to be new weapons, there's going to be new vehicles, and a lot of the gameplay from E3 that they've been live streaming has showed us a lot of those things, which is excellent. Now another thing they added was spectator mode. So in terms of competitive community, Battlefield 4 is going to shoot up there. Battlefield 3 had no sort of spectator mode whatsoever, so the competitive community really wasn't supported. They really couldn't have tournaments, they couldn't do live stream tournaments because there was no way to shoutcast games, there was none of that, and you couldn't check to see if people were hacking, and it was kind of a bummer because Battlefield 3 is such a great game, but it was really lacking spectator mode, so they're bringing that to Battlefield 4, which is excellent. It's a Frostbite 3 engine, so it's just the graphics, the destruction is great. They're amping up the destruction from Battlefield 3. It's not going to get quite to Bad Company 2 levels because that was just awesome. I think that's just too much for them to handle with all the other little intricacies that they want to put in the upcoming Battlefields. Now, so far all the classes are the same. You have the Assault, Engineer, Support, Recon. They do have different skills. The weapon customization is going to be hugely different. The character customization is a lot different. There's changes to tanks. There's changes to the disable function on it. You can no longer just pellet tanks with rockets over and over again. You have to hit it in a specific area in order to disable it, and they really haven't gotten into too much detail for that. But yeah, there's a lot of changes going to it, and like I said, it's Battlefield, so you know I'm going to be excited about it. And I'll leave you with this skyscraper crashing for the end, and we'll get to my number 2 pick. Alright guys, number 2 on my list of top games is Titanfall. I am extremely excited for this game. It is made by Respawn Entertainment, which is the co-founders of Infinity Ward, Jason West and Vince Zampella. It's their new studio. They had that whole big deal with Activision Infinity Ward where they bounced out and created their own company, and this is their first IP under Respawn Entertainment. Now this game, players either fight on foot as pilots, quote-unquote, or inside these giant mechs. Now the mechs are called Titans, and a thing that really piqued my interest is these giant mechs seem to be very quick and agile. They're not these gigantic lumbering mechs like you see in other games. They seem pretty quick, they seem pretty agile, and I think that that's going to add a lot to gameplay. I think in terms of skill, when you're inside these mechs or on foot, you have flying abilities, jetpack abilities, where you can like double jump. You can wall run from billboard to billboard, from wall to wall, and you have these like double jumps with your jetpack. And I think while you're jumping around doing those things and aiming at other players, it's going to add a big skill gap that a game like Call of Duty doesn't have. Now it looks like this game is going to play as smooth as COD. It looks very smooth, and it looks like the weapons handle a lot like Call of Duty as well. Now Titanfall, like I said, Respawn Entertainment, it's the Infinity Ward co-founders. They developed Modern Warfare 2. Now that game, in my opinion, had the best netcode out of any Call of Duty. There was barely any lag, the hit detection was just absolutely perfect, and I think that that'll carry over to this game as well, so I'm really interested to see how it plays out. Now the game, right now, is believed to be multiplayer only, but there's a lot of single-player elements that they implement into the game. There's a plot, there is NPCs, there's non-player player characters on the battlefield with you in the matches that add a little bit of plot and a little bit of depth to all the multiplayer matches. So very, very excited for this game. Super, super excited. I can't wait to see how it turns out. And next we'll get to number 1 on the list.
1.
And number 1 on my top 5 games of E3 2013 is The Division. This game looks amazing. It is developed by Ubisoft, however you want to pronounce it. Ubisoft Massive, under the Tom Clancy brand. They're the same people that have brought you Ghost Recon, Splinter Cell, Rainbow Six, etc., etc. Now this game is a massive multiplayer, online, tactical shooter, action role-playing game. There are so many titles in it, it's ridiculous. Basically, think DayZ when you think about this game. In the game, a disease spreads on Black Friday, and it causes the United States to collapse in 5 days. Now, they want to base it off of real-world events so you can show how vulnerable the United States has become and how fragile and complex society is. And they're trying to use real-world events to showcase that. Now, when you play, your character is part of a quote-unquote unconfirmed group that was established to battle threats and, you know, do whatever it takes to save the United States right now. You, as you play, there's going to be other players. Like I said, think DayZ. There's going to be other players all around. You fight enemy factions. You can loot buildings just like in DayZ, except you can level up your character just like Borderlands 2, any other RPG. Level up your skills, level up your character, and it all takes place in New York City. It seems really, really cool. Now, the Division, the group that you're a part of, is a basically it's a self-supported tactical agent group where you aren't part of the government or anything. It's all self-supported, and they lead basically ordinary lives normally. You don't ever know that they're Division until they're activated, until they're called upon, and they're trained to operate independently of command. So they have no chain of command to look up to. And it's really cool because you can play this game, it seems, however you want. You can go helping people, you can go killing people, just like DayZ. I'm really getting a DayZ vibe out of this. And to add to that, when your agent awakens, when you take control of him, your belongings have just 3 days of food, water, and supplies. So after that, you have to find resources, weapons, ammo, etc., etc. And the whole point of the game is for players to explore, discover, once again, think DayZ. Now what's cool about this is in the gameplay, the little drone that pops up, that is a player that's playing on a tablet. They're not playing on a controller. You can see next to their name it says tablet in parentheses. Now they fly around this little drone, and they have support abilities, so you can mark enemies so that your team can see them. You can do airstrikes, things like that. And it's just really, really awesome. I'm really excited for this game. It's going to be open world. You can do whatever you want. You can play with friends. You can party up. I'm so excited for this game. This is my number 1 top game. I am so excited for this game. So that's number 1 of my top 5 plays of E3 2013. Alright guys, so those are my top 5 games of E3 2013. I want to thank you for sticking around to the end of the video and seeing the games that I am most hyped for. If you want further breakdowns of an individual game or a specific game, let me know in the comments what game you want to see more of. If you have different games, let me know. Specifically, what do you want to know about the games that I did not cover? As always guys, thank you for watching and stay active.